All right. Well, in true contrarian fashion, we start with the audience instead of the panel. So who would like to share their insights with us? Richard.
Well, this usually gets me in trouble, but I always shoot from the hip, and kind of whatever I think of, it just comes out. Sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's not, but that's the way I operate.
I use sarcasm and irony. I like catching people off guard with a wink in the eye.
And how do you use that to affect?
How do I affect? I affect them in being unique and being different, and so it brings more attention to me in that way.
Okay. Mark?
I love networking to take the obvious and just twist it. Like, for instance, I have a shirt that says Office Supply Solutions. I go, what do you do for a living? I'm like, I'm a mortician. What do you do?
Okay. I'm going to work my way up front. So,
I enjoy using the artful use of the language, and that engages people into thinking differently.
very good.
Thank you. I use folksy, self-effacing, tongue-in-cheek humor to lower barriers and build rapport.
Great, yes.
I tend to kind of make fun of myself and share a story of something that I did that day, which is usually kind of silly or stupid, and that way you can kind of connect and people can relate to you.
Great. Anyone else? All right, we're going to turn to our panel now. Karen, would you like to get us started?
I too, like Karen, take things that have happened to me that's funny and I can relate, and that's where some of my blog posts and other things come from, so that if we can make a little humor to it, and we also know if we learn while we're laughing or we have humor, we'll remember it a whole lot more. That's why my tagline is, I'm frustrated with Facebook, feeling like a twit on Twitter, perplexed by Pinterest, or lost on LinkedIn.
Well, I was not born a natural comedian, but I was born a natural laugher. So I'm a great audience if you're a great comedian. and sometimes I surprise myself with my responses. They're not planned at all. They're totally spontaneous. And I'll say something very funny, and I have no idea how it came out. But I'm glad that the humor's built in. It's from a lot of listening and a lot of laughing with people who really do have a great sense of humor.
I would guess my sense of humor is probably somewhat dry. That's what I've been told, at least. So, but as a lawyer and also as an entrepreneur, there's a lot of social situations in a daily basis, whether it's a negotiation or networking event or whatever, where what really kind of greases the wheels more than anything is connection, like you said. And so that's the way I use humor, is to kind of break down the natural distance between people.
And I use one-liners a lot. And I use it to help get people's minds open to another way of looking at things. So, example, in our mastermind meeting a few months back, there was a discussion about people who fear networking and who fear getting in front of the public and doing public speaking. And one of the people in the group said, nobody ever died from standing in front of a group. To which I said, unless it's a firing squad. So I just get people to look at things a little differently, and it works very well for me. And it breaks down the defenses because they're laughing, so it's not a real contradiction to you. All right? Any others from the audience? Well, then I got to let you know that I do realize you folks have been naughty again. And I know you've been naughty because I get a call from Bill and he says, Dale, can you double up and do 2 programs? Can you do a program besides the panel? And one of the things about being one with the universe is that you get to look back in time. And I've looked back, and what I've realized is that Bill was a nun in a farmer life. I'm the ruler that he brings out when you've been naughty. So with that, give our panelists and yourselves a round of applause. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Ron.